Well, my name is Samuel Ciszuk and I'm the founding partner at ELS Analysis, and I've been here talking about how the oil market is increasingly driven by sort of regulatory risk, policy risk in the coming few years, geopolitical risk emanating from the traditional West, in fact, and of course about the current market situation with this big price war we've seemed to have entered into in the last week. Well, you know, the future, in short term, we're in a price war, and it's going to be quite grim for oil producers. But of course, for actors in the storage business, this means there will be an overhang in the market. There will be an inventory build. In the longer term, we have already entered into a more uncertain time where sort of political risk, and actually not least in normally well-regulated areas like the European Union, are increasing. Because we see very radical ways to tackle climate change. We see targets for 2050 carbon neutrality, and then how to get there already as soon as with the 2030 targets, having to be very concrete, and they will impact business and business climate in Europe very dramatically. There will be big opportunities in that, but there will also be very big risks if you're not really right placed in the markets. Well, coronavirus is really what sort of make the cup flow over, sort of with causing this reaction in OPEC plus OPEC, particularly Saudi Arabia-Russia relations, and how they have entered into price war with themselves and most crucially with US shale producers. It's really this demand shock which in the end sort of exposed them to with Russia saying it's unsustainable that we cut even further and hand even further market shares away to this growing US shale play, and hence the corporation actually cracked, and we are where we are. So it was really the coronavirus that set it off, and this big demand shock, which means that we've gone from a balanced market at the start of this year to a massively oversupplied market, even as the price war hadn't started. With this very ambitious 2050 goal of carbon neutrality, that is far away in a sense, but there is a need to now show concrete results, and the 2030 targets are only 10 years away. They cannot be any wishful thinking. There's no room for that, but they do need to sync with this net carbon neutrality goal in 2050. So that actually means that they will have to be extremely radical and extremely concrete at the same time, which will really change the business environment for a lot of business in many different sectors in Europe. I think the StocExpo has been a great way of meeting the stock holding industry and actors within the industry, and it's clearly interesting to interact with them. And here it's given the changes in the market, a lot of them are following that closely. Of course, it's going to impact the stock holding industry importantly in the coming years. So it's been a great event to be in, actually, and have a lot of interesting conversations about that.